Hi, y'all. This is your librarian, Adriana, and today I'm going to help you to prepare for Team Memo 3. Um, Looking at the entire Team Memo assignment, um, we know that you will be providing a couple of things. The team description of sustainability, pardon me tripping over my tongue there, and in the second part, the team assessment of technology. So, this is where I'm going to really be, um, I hope, a useful resource to you. Um, I'll let y'all read through your own assignment descriptions, but I want you to focus with me on number 4 here, which um, is your technology sustainable? Um, we have some tools for assessment that we already know about, or I think that by the time you do this assignment, you will have been introduced to the sustainability triangle, Beater's scale, and Young and Vandenberg's life cycle. Um, but back to that point 4 under identifying whether your technology is sustainable or not. This is the point that I want to really focus with you all on. What have the experts articulated about your team's technology? Is your technology sustainable according to these experts? Use a minimum of 2 sources, so that's 2 scholarly sources, from your Library 3 visit to help find answers to this question. So, I think we need to remember at this point that experts are folks who have credentials in the educational disciplines that have developed the technology that your team is evaluating. So, experts, where do we find experts? We can use Google Scholar, we can use the databases, and I'm going to show you that very thing. The experts, like I said, though, really are dependent upon like each team's individual technology. So I wouldn't look to um, a nuclear physicist as an expert in, um, say, technology about making microphones sustainable. So make sure that your expert matches your question, like as far as their expertise, their academic slash professional expertise. You are looking for scholarly articles, so they must be written by scholars or academics, not newspapers, not government sources. Those are considered popular. So, where can you find expert analysis about your team's technology? We have a bunch of databases, and I'm actually going to walk you through each of these, um, doing just a sample search. Um, you might want to take a screen cap of this page or this slide, um, so you can remember which resources or which databases specifically I've recommended. But please feel free to explore other databases. You don't have to look at just these. The big takeaway for the sources that each of you will bring to Team Memo 3 is that they must be scholarly. So we don't really have preferences where you get your sources from. It's just that they must be scholarly sources of information. So first let's look at Scopus. I'm going to open up a, what's it called? A browser. Hey, it's Chrome. And let's go to the library's website. I'm going to move this window down so y'all can see. I'm looking for lib.utah.edu. That's our library's website. And the databases are located not here in this big search box. You're going to be so tempted to type your keywords into this box, but don't do it. Instead, go to the databases. So, my memory is really crappy, and I'm going to refer back to my presentation for just a second to see which database we're going to look at first. We're looking at Scopus. Okay, dope. Scopus is dopus. I apologize. We need a little levity, right? Anyway, this is the portal to all of our research databases. We have about 400 of them. I don't recall if I've told you this before, but it's probably a good reminder anyway. If you're off campus, you will want to log in here with off-campus access. That will just prompt you to use your university ID and password to get in. Let's take a look at Scopus under S. We love an alphabetized list I was going to say databases, but in libraries. So I'll scroll and scroll till I find it, and there it is. So the title of the database is in red, and then you get a description. And I know this is going to sound like it's tedious and an extra step in the research process, but if you take a moment, if you're unsure which database resource to use to find articles, aka sources, it's a good idea to read through these really brief descriptions because it'll tell you what the content is. So we know that there are a ton of peer-reviewed journals. Peer-reviewed journals, as we know, are always, always scholarly. So this is a good sign. Let's see. All the rest of that stuff is kind of fun facts, but I want to take a look at Scopus. Scopus is a really science-heavy database. Don't mind me signing in here. This is like an extra step, I think, if you're an employee of the university. Anyway, so we're going to sign in, and I'm going to do a search for, I'm going to close that shit up, and I'm going to do a search for my technology, which is, I'm going to make something up right now. I wish I had thought of this earlier. We're going to go with nuclear power and sustainability. Okay, this is a broad search. These two terms are very broad. We're going to get a lot of articles. The default here is to search the abstract or the article title, the abstract, and look for our exact keywords in those places. So we're going to hit search. And we got 705 document results. That's actually really pretty good. I want to give you a brief kind of tour of what Scopus looks like. Scopus is amazing. It's probably our largest database that we have access to, and like I said, it's got more of a science bent than like the social sciences or the humanities. So looking through here, the left margin, just like in the library catalog and in other databases I've shown you, they like to use margins in databases to help you to refine your results. So with this one, you can actually search within your results. You can add another keyword if you want to. If you feel like 705 results is probably too many documents to look through, I think it is. That was me whispering at you. But you can also limit in other ways here. I can limit by the publication year. Like say I want only the 5 most recent years. And this is kind of cool because as you can see, 2021 is here. There are 3 articles associated with it. How does that work? Those are white papers or like pre-published articles that are in process for publication. So I can limit to those things or I can exclude those things. I'm going to limit to those things being years and see what happens to my search results. It's chugging away. Sometimes it takes a really long time and it's hard not to panic. But usually it comes through for you. Yes, we went from 700 and something results to 175 results. So this is one way to refine your results. You can also refine by subject area, which is really cool. Say you can find your specific discipline here, like computer science or environmental science. Um, there are so many ways that you can refine your results here, uh, even by place. So that's really cool. Affiliation refers to not just professional organizations, but also universities. And then I just want to walk you through the results list. We're going to pretend that this first result, I'm going to click on it. It's coming out in 2021. I will imagine, let's all imagine we've read the abstract and we're like, whoa, this is the article that I need. This is the perfect article for my research question for my team. Um, the reason I went back here is to show you I can view an abstract. If I click here, I get that same abstract. I get a bunch of keywords, funding text. This is super interesting, knowing where the funding for technology is coming from. Useful, but I don't see the full text anywhere. The desire here to freak out is going to be really strong. But if you take a pause and take a quick big deep breath and look for that find it button, which is here once I've clicked on the record, or in the results, you'll see find it is connected to every single one of these articles, which means bummer, none of these are available in full text. But on the plus side, if I click this find it button, what it does is it opens a new tab and it searches through all of our 400 plus databases to see if there is a copy available in full text somewhere. So let's see. I got excited here. It's checking the availability. I'm going to scroll down. If I log in and full text is available, that's super convenient. It's just an easier, quicker way to get to it. I'm actually going to log in anyway because I think it's an important thing to show you. And once again, we're going to do this. So thank you for bearing with me, y'all. You won't have this step, I hope. Or unless you're a U employee or a student in the College of Social and Behavioral Science. Anyway, so we're checking availability here, and it goes to no full text. So at this point, you might think that all hope is lost. Let's pretend, actually, let's not pretend. Let's do this. Let's grab this, and I'm going to put it into the title. I'm going to put it into Google Scholar, scholar.google.com. And I'm going to put in that exact title. Now we know that this was like a pre-publication thing, but we might be able to get access to a PDF. So here it actually takes us to the very same place, and it asks us if we want to buy the paper or buy an ebook. If you are ever faced with this right here, text me or email me or call me or just go outside and shout my name. Don't pay for it. Let the library get this material for you. I'm going to show you how. So right under where it says no full text available, you'll see that there are other services. We can request this text from another library. That's really cool. So what this does is it's opened up another tab for interlibrary loan, or Iliad. You'll select J. Willard Marriott Library, that's us. This is because I'm already logged in. If you're not logged in, it will prompt you to log in there. And then this is really cool. It says that I'm requesting a book chapter, and a lot of this stuff is already filled out for me, but I want to make sure that all of the fields that have this red asterisk are completed. So I know that the answer here is 2021. A couple things I want to point out that are interesting. The first one is this not wanted after date. I think the language there is really confusing. That just means what is the last possible date that you would want to receive this text? And by default, it sets it a month out. You can change this date to tomorrow, to any date that you want. The other thing that I want you to notice is will you accept the item in a language other than English? And the drop down menu is a default yes. So indicate in the notes section, if so, yes, which languages you will accept that reading in. Otherwise, change that to no. And then you don't actually have to fill this part out unless you feel like it would be useful for us in finding the item. And then I'm going to submit the request. And generally, it takes not very long for an interlibrary loan request to come through if it's like for an electronic thing. If it's for a physical item, it takes a little bit of time. But I want to show you, oh my gosh, I have already requested this. I am a terrible person. No, I'm not. Anyway, so here it will show you your pending requests in interlibrary loan. And it will even give you like a status so you know where you're at. The turnaround time is really pretty quick. I often get a request the same day that I submit it, like sometimes within the same hour. It really depends on what time of year it is, and like around midterms and finals, it's a little bit more of a wait time. But generally, it's pretty quick, same day even. For stuff that's physical, though, the turnaround time is longer, of course, because we are going to deliver those items to you. Here are the different types of materials you can request, and I want to show you, if you haven't used interlibrary loan before, where you can sign up to use it. Unsurprisingly, we're going to go back to the library's website, and we really love this like red and gray color scheme a lot, but I think the gray hides a lot from us. So remember how databases are under this big bright red catalog search box? In this even paler gray, even more innocuous, and it's like we're trying to hide it from you, but we are not. I really want you to use interlibrary loan. So take a moment, pause this video, and log in. If it's the first time that you're logging in, it will have you fill out your contact info, and that's it. All of this stuff is considered private. We never share your borrowing records with anybody. Those belong to you and you alone. So that was a long, complicated explanation for how to get this one article. Basically, the short story is everything in this database is not full text, but you can find it using the Find It button. I'm going to see if this one actually will give us a full text, because it's cool when that happens. It's not just cool, it's like, thank goodness. Yay, look, it happened. And now I can just download the PDF and save it and do whatever I want with it. One thing I should have mentioned about interlibrary loan is that when you are sent a PDF, that PDF will live in your interlibrary loan for 30 days. And you can download it and do whatever you'd like with it as many times as you want during that 30-day period. But after 30 days, it will be automatically deleted. So now we're going to look at the next database in, not the Team Memo, in the list. Web of Science is where we're headed. So I'm going to click on W, and actually, for the sake of like good muscle memory practice, I want to show y'all how I got here again. So I go to lib.utah.edu, and then I click on the Databases tab, and because I know the title of the database I want, I'm going to click on W for Web of Science. And I'll scroll down until I find that in the list. And here it is. So again, take a minute to check out what's covered in this database, because not every database is going to work for every research question that y'all have. So Some research questions, you won't find anything about your technology in a particular database. In another database, you might find a ton of stuff. So this one has scholarly journals, books, proceedings in the sciences, social sciences, arts, and humanities. This is actually really similar to Scopus um, as far as like the topics or disciplines that are covered, um, but the actual content is different. Sometimes there's some overlap. And we're just going to wait very excitedly for this to load because I really want to show you what Web of Science looks like. Sometimes it takes a long time to load, and when I'm in class, I can show you, oh my gosh, I can totally still do this. Show you all videos of stuff that's equally as important, like hamsters eating burritos. Hooray, it worked. Okay, so this is Web of Science. Whenever you're looking at a new database or a database that's unfamiliar to you, just look for that search engine box or the search box. Just pretend that every database is kind of like Google. So I'm going to do the same search that I did before, which may or may not be a good one, but nuclear power and sustainability. And I can search by topic. This is like going to allow me to search. This tells us like it searches the titles, the abstract, the keywords that the author has supplied, and the keywords that the database folks have supplied. If I want to only search the title of a journal or a journal article or like any kind of publication, I could do that. You can also even just search these by funding agencies. So that's really interesting and also kind of intense. I'm going to go with topic because that's the most basic search. And it's searching all years from 1900 to 2020. And I still get, this is really interesting. I got 288 results. Now, if I want to scan through here, I'm going to point out a couple of things. This database is using both of the margins to help you to organize some, like not just organize your results, but this is for refining your results and this is for analyzing your results. But the body of the page is going to have links to articles, or at the very least, links to records about articles. You can view the abstracts here sometimes if your computer is being cooperative with you. Mine is not, so we'll just pretend. Yay, there it goes. Okay, it's just feeling a little slow today. I am too. So here is the abstract or a brief synopsis of what the article is about. And I'm again going to pretend that, whoa, this is exactly what I want for my research. I'm going to see if I can get the free full text from the publisher here. And I can. This is really dope. So you can download the PDF here. Otherwise, let's scroll through our results here. Sometimes you won't see this free full text. You'll only see view abstract and you'll need to use that find it button. But let's see if find it is going to work for us on this article. This is like such a common experience where sometimes find it will take you to the article directly, or it will take you to a collection of links to databases that have access to that article. We keep getting direct PDFs here, which is really nice. Or sometimes it will take you to a screen that says no full text available, and will encourage you to use interlibrary loan. The other alternative here is you can always suggest a purchase, but I want to show you more how this database is laid out than Talk Library Services this time. So again, we can restrict our publication years This will show you in parentheses the number of articles associated with each year, and I can see more options available there. Because a lot of your technologies have changed rapidly over the decades, I think it's important for an understanding of your technology to have some historical context. So you can look as far back in this specific search as 1993, which for nuclear power isn't super far back. Um, but it's also important, of course, to have the most up-to-date information about it. So that's just one thing that one filter that you can use to refine your results if you don't want to look through 200 titles. Um, Again, this database gives us categories or disciplines and document types. So this is like, what sort of information container am I looking at? You, like I said in the presentation, each one of you needs to supply 2 scholarly sources to the Team Memo 3. So you would not want editorial materials. You would not want reviews. You could use proceedings because these are from conferences. Let's look at the whole list. Where the heck is it? Ah, shoot. That's it. That's it right there. Okay. So I was really hoping for more. But you are likely going to want to look just at the articles. So that will refine our results down a little bit further. Any tricks like that can help to make your research a little bit more efficient. For some reason, the databases are behaving really slowly today, or responding slowly today. So thanks for bearing with me, y'all. I know database demonstrations aren't super exciting. Um, Other things I wanted to show you here, because you are going to be thinking about sustainability, we can look at organizations and see if there are like professional organizations or governmental organizations that have collaborated with scholarly um, organizations like universities to create research about this stuff. So these identify all of them for you. This is wild. The United States Department of Energy here has 10 articles. The University of Sussex has 7. So you can select by specific organizations, which is cool and helpful, I hope, potentially. For the next database, I'm going to close this out. We're going to go back to the library's website, and we want to look at Ieee Explore. So this is for folks who are, gosh, it's really hard to think and click at the same, or talk and click things at the same time. Ieee Explore is for folks who are interested in topics that have to do with in electrical and electronic engineering. I didn't want to mess that up. So in the database description, again, take a second to read through it. It's useful. You're going to be glad to see that this one is full text access, not for all articles, but for a majority. And it's only focusing on publications from the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. And you'll recognize IEEE from your citation style. So if your research topic is relevant to electronic or electrical engineering, try this database. If you try a topic that isn't relevant, you're not going to have good results. So I'm going to try my go-to topic just to show you what it looks like. The reason why I'm actually typing the word "and" is to signal to the database that I want it to bring up only those results that include both keywords, nuclear power and sustainability. Whoa, I got 33 results. 33 is actually really good. Um, I know it sounds a little counterintuitive, but the fewer results that are more relevant to your specific research question or topic, the better. You don't want to like weed through a bunch of irrelevant stuff that barely mentions your technology in passing. Like you want it to focus on your technology through the lens of sustainability. So, like, here's an article that was published in 2006. Is there a sustainable future for nuclear power? I can look at the abstract here. I can access the PDF, or this is kind of cool, I can access it as HTML full text too. I usually prefer the PDF full text because if you intend to use a direct quote, you'll want to have access to the page numbers. So that's kind of helpful. Anyway, that's Ieee Explore for you. You'll notice that from one database to the next, the design is basically the same. You're going to find a search box, you're going to type in your keywords, and then in either the left or right margin, or sometimes both, they're going to give you some tools for reducing the number of results that you get or making them more relevant to your specific research question. The more information that you put into a database, the better your results are going to be. So, what are we looking at next? We're looking at NTIS database. The NTIS database is interesting. I'm going to mess up on the abbreviation here. I think it's the National Technical Information Service. Let's see. I could do a search for NTIS. Is it in here? Oh no. Do we no longer subscribe to it? We may not. I apologize, folks. We're going to skip that one, and I will update my Prezi later. The last one I want to show you then is Engineering Village. So click on E, and we will scroll till we find, or you can do a little search, Engineering Village. Whoa, that's a really, really massive database description. The good news here is that I can just give you the quick and dirty synopsis. Engineering Village is made up of two databases that are giant. I mean, check this out, over 1.7 million references and abstracts. So those are over 2 million, like close to 2 million articles. One of the databases that is part of Engineering Village is also part of Scopus, so you might see some overlap there, probably not a whole lot. But this one should be a good database to use for all of the engineering disciplines. And I'll do my search again. If y'all want me to do a search for your specific topic in one of these videos, I would be happy to do it, because then I can just help you find articles in real time. That would be cool. So Engineering Village is massive, therefore you can expect to get a lot more results. 1,600 records or articles or book chapters, reports, reviews, whatever. For the most part, you're going to be looking at journal articles. So I am going to limit just to journal articles and conference articles and conference proceedings. If I could, I would do that. For some reason, my computer's being a little finicky today. So just imagine that I did that. And then check it out. It's laid out exactly like the other databases. This one's a little bit busier looking design-wise, and that's okay. So again, you get the title of the article. We've got author names, and then we've got the affiliation of the author, and you'll see in italics the title of the publication. So this is a conference series, so like a conference proceedings. Those are considered scholarly sources, just like scholarly journal articles. Um, in this one, you can see not just like it's so cool. This shows you the author's affiliations, like which university they're connected to. But it also identifies for you the title of the article, and of course, it even tells you the source. So that's the journal title right here on the front page. If I want to get to the full text, I can do that here. It's going to take a sec. There we go. Oh, look, it did that thing. We did this one actually earlier, so you know what to do when something like this happens. We click Find It. Instead, because it's saying it's not available in full text there. No full text available. Let's go to Get It. And this is going to take us to Interlibrary Loan. So this should look familiar. If y'all get stuck anywhere in this process, just let me know. A lot of this stuff is like so buried on the library's website. Even if it's on the front page, I think that our databases link is a little bit hard to find. Same with our interlibrary loan link. But if you need me for anything at all, I want you to reach out to me for help. So I'm going to open up my email and, well, maybe not. We'll do that at the end of the presentation here. Because I forgot. I wanted to mention one last thing. This is an interesting topic as far as it relates to technology, specific technology, and how sustainable they are. So when a technology is mass produced, a lot of companies try to standardize their manufacturing procedures and policies through the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO. And ISO is a really great group because they work with the United Nations to kind of it's sort of like your sustainability triangle, where we're looking at economical, environmental, and societal impacts through good, how do I put this, through good process writing, or through the standardization of processes and procedures. So this is one lens to think about before you begin writing. How do other organizations evaluate for sustainability? Because you all are going to be coming up with your team's definition for sustainability, but I want you all to know that in the world of engineering, a lot of organizations have already developed their own definitions for that and work together collectively through this international organization, ISO. It's very cool. So for your library assignment, I'm going to have you do, again, the kinder, gentler crap test. You only need to do it for one article. I know that for your memo, each of you will be providing 2 sources, but for the library assignment, only evaluate one of those 2 sources. So according to currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. A couple of things I wanted to talk about before I let you go. I wish I could show y'all my face. How can I do this? Maybe I'll just open up Photo Booth and talk to you this way. I'm going to do that. Maybe. Here I am. This is me. Nah, maybe not. I know. I'll do it through Zoom. Thanks for bearing with me, you all. Good grief. Maybe not. Man, this is the worst lecture I've ever recorded. I'm just going to talk at you while we look at this page because I can't figure out a fix. But a lot of folks in the last library assignment were, they said they felt comfortable using newspaper sources or government sources or like a company's board meeting minutes as a source. But I want to remind y'all that those are not considered authorities because we're looking, at least for the purpose of this assignment, they're not considered authorities for Memo 3 or for the library assignment for any of the memos because we only want scholarly sources of information. So newspapers are considered popular sources, not popular in the sense that they're like popular like a cheerleader in high school, but popular like they're accessible to the general public. Um, Scholarly stuff, as you know, is often behind a bunch of barriers. There's barriers like the jargon that engineers, like my goodness, and librarians, we all use a bunch of jargon that's very specific to our disciplines. Um, so that's a barrier. Sometimes information is behind paywalls, like we just saw, and you can't access it unless you have access through a library. So all of that is just to say, I want you to remember that scholarly sources are written by scholars, so folks who have academic and professional credentials, not just professional credentials. They must have academic credentials in order to be considered scholarly. And so for your library assignment and for your memo, make sure that you're bringing those scholarly sources. And then you're done. Hooray! I'm sorry that took so long. I kind of meandered there and I didn't get to show you my face. I did for a second and it was really weird. Um, I'll figure out a better fix next time. But if you have questions, please do email me or text me or contact me via Canvas or whatever. And I want to help you to finish not just your library assignment, but your Team Memo 3.